Thank you for watching. My name is Matt Bezick, and today I'm going to be covering cost of attendance. Now, this is always a key factor when looking at what kind of college you want to go to, is how much is it actually going to cost to go there. A lot of people know that college is very expensive, but exactly how expensive? So the way we determine that number is cost of attendance. Now, this number is a little more challenging to determine than you would think. There's not just one place you can go and look at the exact cost of every school for a given year, right? Because costs fluctuate and usually increase from year to year, and each institution increases at different kind of speeds and stages. So what is in cost of attendance too? Because it's not just going to show you tuition costs. There's a lot of costs associated with going to college. So the definition of cost of attendance is a figure provided by colleges that estimates the total cost of attending that particular school for a period of 1 year. Included in the estimate are all of the reasonable expenses such as tuition, room and board, books and supplies, personal expenses, and transportation. So in this video, I'm just going to show you how you locate that information for each individual school you're looking at by showing you some examples and just kind of equip you with the tools necessary to see what it actually costs to go to the college you're looking at. First screen we're looking at here is going to be a breakdown of all of those categories I just described to you. Tuition, books and fees, room and board, personal expenses, transportation. I like to show this one first because it demonstrates kind of how they're broken down and also shows a nice summary for all of these schools here in Oregon. So the top is your public for your universities, middle is community colleges, and your private schools are listed at the bottom. One thing to keep in mind when you're looking at all these costs is that the amount you're actually going to be billed for is really just going to be built in the tuition and fees and room and board if you are living on campus. All those other figures listed, they're required to estimate those for you to give you some sense of the full cost of school, so you're prepared for transportations and books and all the costs that are associated with college, but they're not going to be things they're actually billed for from the individual school. So something to keep in mind. So when you actually want to find individual costs of attendance for each school, there are documents like this that exist that kind of summarize everything nice and neat. But if you want the most accurate information, and as you can see, this is for 2016-17, so it's an older year. If you want the most up-to-date information, you could start by just going to Google, type cost of attendance, put the school you are looking for, and you're looking for their individual website. You will find some kind of collegedata.com. You'll find these generic websites that try to summarize everything, but we're looking for each individual school. So when we go there, you can also add each individual school in their search bar, type in cost of attendance. They will all get you to this same page because this information is something required to provide to you so that you can compare apples to apples and actually see what costs look like from one university to another. So they usually break it down by residents, non-residents, and you see a lot of the same categories just giving estimates. This one, as you can see, is for 2017-18, so it's for the upcoming school year. Oregon State University, very similar information, resident, non-residents, kind of the breakdowns here. Just go to community college look. Portland Community College, this is one I saw that looked a little different because they recognize the only thing you are actually getting billed for by them is the tuition fees. So they break that down just in here, and they are showing the cost by credit. This can be a little more confusing because you don't know exactly how many credits you're going to take, so it can be hard to actually estimate what the cost is, which is why those larger charts can be nicer, but this is the actual cost per credit, but it doesn't necessarily help you a lot in planning unless you know exactly how many credits you're taking per term, and doesn't account for any of those other expenses. Clatsop Community College has a nice short little simple breakdown. You can see tuition and fees is the same whether you're living at home or away from home, but they're just required to provide some kind of estimate of what those costs look like. So cost of attendance is a very simple concept. You just have to remember that terminology so you can either Google it or look at each individual website to find what this figure looks like. In summary, cost of attendance is pretty straightforward as long as you can just remember that terminology, you understand what it is you're looking for, and also keep in mind each individual circumstance for each student is going to kind of depend on what information is important to you when you're looking at cost of attendance. So when you see that final number listed, that's not necessarily what you're going to be billed for. You need to understand what your individual needs are and which kind of plan you are taking in your approach to going to college. And just to kind of ease your mind a little, you look at those numbers, they're really big numbers. Going to college is very expensive. But one thing to always keep in mind is... That's right, J-Lo. Thank you. We needed that. We really did.
Think you gotta keep me